WagerTalk one-day power pass, you receive every play from every betting consultant for one full day at the ridiculously discounted price of just $149. What's better than spending the day watching and following a great slate of games? Watching, following, and winning those games. Get every WagerTalk expert and every game they release for that day.
Hey guys, Carmine Bianco here from WagerTalk.com with another edition of Stoppage Time. This is the Europa League edition. Quarterfinal matches go today at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. 4 big games on the card today. We're going to talk about all of them. It's Ajax, Roma, Arsenal, Slavia, Prague, Dinamo, Zagreb with Villarreal, and Granada, Man United. With me to talk about those games are from Sports Memo, Pavlos, Laguretos, and from WagerTalk.com, Nick Borrman and Kevin Dolan. Let's bring them in. I'll start with you, Kev, first. Pretty good run for you, 34, 17, and 1 all sports run, and a big 5% winner last night in NHL. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, all good, Carmine. Obviously, that run's fantastic. Really hot start to April and that. And, look, I love NHL. It's been an absolute ATM this season. And, it's good that we got Nick finally transitioned over to NHL as well this season. Just waiting on Pavlos now for the full sweep. But, it's a sport that I've really come to
love. Speaking of Nick, it is Masters Week in the U.S. Kicked off today, this morning. And I know Nick has a ton of stuff, so you definitely need to follow him, not only on Twitter, but check out his page at WagerTalk.com. Mr. Borrman, how you doing, my friend?
Thanks, Carm. Yeah, definitely best week of the year for any golfer. Kevin might disagree, but this is my favorite week of the year, Masters Week. Great 4 days of golf, and couldn't be happier for the last 2 days for Champions League action, too, with a big best bet winner each of the last 2 days and a correct score in each of the 2 games that I played. So coming off some nice bankroll. Hopefully we can carry that over to Europa today.
Yep, and our man, the master from Sports Memo, Mr. Exact Score himself, Pavlos Laguretos. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Nick stole some of my thunder with those correct scores, but good for him. He's also very good in correct scores. I'm coming off a day with, it was pretty weird yesterday, 2 wins and 3 losses. However, both wins were 3% and all 3 losses were 1%. So the total was a winning day for me yesterday. And looking forward to bring the momentum to today with 5% and some other stuff that's on my page at Sports Memo.
Love it. And myself, of course, I had a 5% play up yesterday in a Champions League winner with Chelsea as they knocked off Porto 2-0 to take control of that tie. I know myself and Kevin Dolan, who are holding tickets on Chelsea to win the Champions League at 14-1. We're pretty happy about yesterday's win as they head back to Stamford Bridge for next week's leg number 2. With that said, guys, let's get straight into the action here, and we're gonna jump in with the probably what the biggest team left in this competition as far as their fan base goes. Man United traveling to Spain to face Granada. The current odds on this game are Granada plus 550, the draw is plus 300. Manchester United minus 188. The total is 2.25, which is a split line of 2 and 2.5. Right off the bat, I talked about this with the guys before the show. The line really hasn't moved on this game over the last 4 or 5 days, and even with the news that Granada could be missing up to 8 of their first team players at home for this game, again due to injuries. Some of them are coaches' decisions, but 8 players could be out of the lineup. But still, they're a team that can give another team fits, especially when they're playing at home. And especially a team who's struggling to score goals. And this is what this Man United team is doing right now. They're struggling to score goals. Obviously, the injury to Rashford, he should be in the lineup today, or should be at least on the bench and can come in. But I'm going to go to Pavlos first on this one. I want to get your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, Granada are one of the most impressive teams in Europe, I think, this season. They came from the La Liga 2, the lower division, this season, and they've been great in all competitions. Actually, they've been struggling in the La Liga lately, mostly because they've been engaged in the Europa League, but still, they've won just 3 league matches in 2021, and they still remain at the 9th spot at the top half of the La Liga table. Of course, they won't be able to maybe challenge a top 6 finish and grab a Europa League ticket there for next season. However, they've been incredibly great in the Europa League. That is their first ever presence in the Europa League this season, and they've been excellent. In the previous round, they overcame Molde. In the previous round, they beat Napoli. So they've been impressive so far. I really like this team. They've done so much without a great roster, without spending a ton of money. However, this is a roadblock for them with Manchester United coming to town. A Manchester United side that has been great on the road lately. They have just one loss in their last 12 away matches in the Europa League. They have 7 wins, just 1 loss, and 4 draws. And their only loss in the last 11 matches in the competition came against a Spanish side. So maybe Granada could pull an upset here. I'm not so certain. The thing is that Granada, they've been great. They have a tremendous season, but all good things come to an end, and maybe this is where they get off. Manchester United, they've been great, especially on the road. This is a tricky match for me. I'm gonna stay away from picking a winner here because Manchester United can get the job done with a draw here. They just want to score an away goal and take the tie to home. So I think that Granada will be in a defensive position for pretty much the entire match, and that could cause a lot of fouls, a lot of cards. So going with over 2.5 Granada cards at plus 112, I think, is the way to go here. Again, I'm not so sure about Manchester United if they get the job done. They probably will, but that's just not enough for me to bet on them. So I'm gonna go with Granada to go over 2.5 cards and maybe a 2-1 correct score for United, something like that.
All right, yeah. Nick, this is one of those games where, when I look at it, United are the better talent on the team, but they're one of those teams where when you believe they're going to roll and win some games, it's a sort of a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. They put in some terrible performances, and then when you think that they're going to get beat, much like that game where the Manchester Derby, and derbies are derbies, but they go there and they hand City their only loss of the year and their only loss in their last 35 some odd games I think that they've played. They're a tricky team, but I think at the end of the day they get a result here. It could be if this was 2.5, I would be betting the under right off the bat. The fact that it's a split line of 2.5 is kind of keeping me off the total here. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, United definitely is a play up or down to your competition type of a team. Granada, I've made a lot of money on this season and last season at home. They're very, very tough at home. But when you look at their bigger picture body of work, they just really haven't been good this year, unfortunately. They started off, they had some decent results, but all the numbers behind the numbers, right, which we like to look at, or I do, and Kevin does a lot with expected goals, is not good. They have a minus 16 expected goal differential in the year through 29 games. So that's over minus a half a goal per game average, which is in the long run is not going to get it done. And then you look at United, who are third best in the Premier League, just behind City and Chelsea. And I like to look at this game as, the Premier League versus La Liga, right? We just saw in the Champions League, the top 2 teams in the Premier League, City and Chelsea, make not easy work, but take care of business and do what they needed to do and show that the Premier League is the best league out there, and they won their games. Now you got the third best team, according to expected goals in the league here with United. I don't see anything but a United win here. I don't like the line at a full goal. I think it could end with a 1-goal win, very likely. So I don't see a lot of value there. Instead, I've been having a lot of success pairing just like the team I think is going to win, which would be United, with a total. So if you take Man United to win, pair it with under by up to 3.5 goals, right? You're getting even money, or actually you can get it plus money. I was able to get plus 105 on Man United plus under 3.5 goals. I think that combo seems very, very likely here. Granada may not get on the board. If they do, it's not going to be by more than 1. At the same time, United probably net 2 or so and try to win with that total. So I really like that combo play here, guys.
All right, awesome. Let's go to our man across the pond who's dodging Molotov cocktails there in Ireland. I don't know what's going on over there, but Kev, give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I mean, I already stuck up a free play on this game earlier in the week. Manchester United minus 3/4 goal handicap. It has slightly trended up now to -1, as Nick said. So it's probably a bit of a situation where you back off because, as Pavlos and Nick both said, well, especially Pavlos, I just don't know if I can completely trust United in these kind of spots. And this line tells you all you need to know about how this match is likely going to finish tonight. United heavy favourites on the match line with a goal line set at 2.25. So, you don't need to look too hard into this one. United to win the nil looks like the play here. United have kept 3 clean sheets from the last 4 Europa League knockout games. And, Granada ranked 14th in the Liga this season on expected goals. So a low scoring win looks very likely for United here. Manchester United to win the nil is going off at a plus 137. And the 2-0 correct scoreline prop, which I like, is going off at a plus 550 also. So, sign me up for either of those, as I think Manchester United do squeak out a low-scoring win here.
Yeah, the low-scoring game, low-scoring game is, I think, the way to go for me. If I'm going to take it, I'm probably going to go with that United and under 2.5 goals. I think you can get plus money on that for that to happen. So that's probably the way I'm going to go. All right, guys, let's head over to game number 2. Dinamo Zagreb, Villarreal. We know what Zagreb did last round. They pulled off probably the biggest upset of the Europa League thus far, knocking off Tottenham Hotspurs in that round. I don't think anyone expected it. I'm not a huge Mourinho fan, so to see him in complete and utter disgust sort of brought a smile to my face in that game. And then you look at against Spanish sides, they don't have a great record against Spanish sides. 1 win, 1 draw, 8 losses. The 1 win, although, was against Villarreal, but that's quite a few years removed. And then you look at Villarreal in this game, so far in Europa League competition, before I throw it to you, Nick, and they're having a great competition so far. 10 games in Europa League, 9 wins, 1 draw. They haven't taken any games off at this point here. They're playing each game like it's their own. And, when you look at a lot of these teams in the quarterfinal rounds, you start to think about the fact that if they're not in the top half or the top 4 or 5 of their division and aren't making it into Champions League next year, this is their route into Champions League next year. And we know Spanish teams have done in Europa League. So with that said, Nick, the line here is Zagreb plus 280. The draw is 240. Villarreal is even money, although that has dropped to about 118 now. And the total is 2.25, which is split line of 2.5. Nick, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Villarreal have been just fantastic Europa League. 9 wins in their 10 games with 1 draw. They've allowed just 1 goal in their 4 knockout games so far. They beat a very good offensive-minded team in Salzburg, and then they followed that up with a 4-0 aggregate win over an opposite, very defensive-minded Dinamo Kiev. Zagreb, to me, is a very similar team to Kiev, and Villarreal had no problems with them. Zagreb managed to come back from that 2-goal deficit you mentioned against Tottenham, Carm, which was impressive. But I see Emery coming with a much better game plan than Mourinho for this matchup. I think that was just Mourinho out-Mourinhoing himself. Villarreal's first 3 games, if you look at the total mark on these, their first 3 Europa games finished over 3.5 goals, but since then their last 7 have all stayed under 3.5 goals, and only 8 of their 29 La Liga games have finished over 3.5 goals, and only 2 of Zagreb's 10 Europa matches have finished over 3.5 goals. So if you can't figure out where I'm going here again right now, I'll give you a hint. It's another combo play. You could be smart here, smarter than me, and just take Villarreal to win. I think they should win this game more often than not. But where's the fun in that? So I'm going to pair it with the under 3.5, get a plus number. You can get it about plus 140 right now, comboing those two. But I really like Villarreal. I think they're going to put an end to Zagreb. I think they should get that lead here on the road. Or excuse me, at home.
All right. Kev, I'm going to go to you next. I mentioned the Man United. First of all, the Man United under win the game under 2.5. Is plus odds. I'm keeping it at 2.5 as opposed to the 3.5, and it's plus 240. And I'm looking at the same thing here, probably a Villarreal win and under 2.5 goals, and that pays at plus 275. Give me your thoughts on this game, Kev.
I would really love, for Nick to come out with something that I completely disagree with, because I'm itching to go like Zagreb on the money line here, but I just can't do it. Like, I'm the same. It's hard to look past Villarreal here. Unai Emery's done a fantastic job as coach of Villarreal, in my opinion. They're knocking on the door of European football for next season. They sit level on points with Betis and Sociedad. And they're just such a well-drilled outfit, posting the league as fifth best defence this season at just 1.02 expected goals against per game. While you mentioned at the start, Zagreb do come off that historic win over Tottenham in the last round. This is actually their first quarter-final in over half a century in European football, so they're really not used to being on this kind of stage. But, tonight they face a completely different test in Villarreal, who do have real European pedigree over the last 20 years, Champions League quarter-finalists, Champions League semi-finalists, that famous loss to Arsenal back in the day, obviously. Riquelme was such a fantastic player for this club, and they've been successful in this competition as well, getting the numerous Europa League semi-finals, and Unai Emery's won this competition outright 3 times with Sevilla, so that experience factor will likely be huge tonight for the visitors. All that manager going to jail for fraud shenanigans that we've seen in the last round, that likely galvanised this Dinamo Zagreb team in the short term to kind of overperform against Tottenham. But against Villarreal tonight, who were so well drilled, it's just a completely different test, and I just don't see them having enough. So, yeah, Villarreal for me in this one.
Yeah, you mentioned Emery, and before I throw to Pavlos, and it just makes me think of the possible matchups that we could see in the semifinals. If Arsenal make it through and Villarreal make it through, Emery against, the squad that he managed and then axed them. On the other half of the bracket, we could see Ajax playing Man United, a rematch of I think it was the 2016-27 Europa League final. So there's a lot at play, and we'll see how that kicks off with these 4 games today. Pavlos, give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, Dinamo Zagreb are one of the, what I call them, they're great at home in European competitions. They played 4 home matches in Europa League knockout stages. They won all 4. They scored 8 goals. They didn't concede any goals. They have 4 consecutive wins in the Europa League, regardless of venue. And another win here would be the 5th consecutive, which will be a club record. However, as you mentioned, Carmine, I think they have a very poor record against Spanish sides. They've won just 2 of their 14 matches against Spanish sides. However, one of them was a win against Villarreal back in 2010. So, yeah, Villarreal, they haven't lost on the road in a Europa League match since, I think, February 2018. So, yeah, you guys mentioned some great info about Unai Emery, who's won, I think, 4 Europa League titles with Sevilla, and another one with another Spanish side would be really his aim here. But let's not forget who Dinamo Zagreb eliminated in the previous round. So that being said, I agree with the under 2.25 goals here. I just don't see this match opening up. I like the under here.
All right, guys, before we head to the 3rd game, I just want to let you know about the show special that we have going on right now. 30 days of soccer, soccer all access package for any of the 4 guys on this show. If you use the promo code SOC70, you can get $70 off that 30-day package that goes for $199. So you get it for $129, and that's 30 days of soccer, including all 5% plays. We'll find out what the guys got going on today. But as far as myself, a couple plays today in Europa. I already have a 5% play loaded up for next week in Champions League, and we'll have a play up this weekend that I really like in domestic league soccer, which is also a 5% play. So those plays go for $40 a piece normally. So picking up that 30 days and only paying $129 is a pretty good deal. So head over to Sports Memo for Pavlos or WagerTalk.com for Kevin, Nick, and myself. All right, that said, let's have it over to the 3rd game. I love the fans from Arsenal in the sense of when you see all the stuff that goes on social media with them and the Tottenham fans. They really are a banter club. I've got friends who are Arsenal fans, so I'm always at them when they lose, and I'm always with them when they win. But anyways, the line on this game: Arsenal minus 200, the draw is plus 320, Slavia Prague plus 550, and the total is 2.5. Prague on a good run, 21 straight games unbeaten, really good run. Arsenal, we know what we get with Arsenal most of the time, and Luiz and Tierney are out of the lineup today, but Smith Rowe and Saka are back, and I love these two guys on that team. It just adds a lot of speed, and I just think they're better with them both in the lineup. They need to get Aubameyang going. He needs to start finding the back of that net. And, as far as Arteta goes, they come off that loss to Liverpool, didn't play very well in that second half. But, with the top four, not even a dream at this point, their route to Champions League next year is this competition. And they'll face, if they get by Slavia Prague, they'll face the winner of Dinamo Zagreb and Villarreal. So they're going to want to get by this one here. I'm going to go to Kev first on this one. I know that you're probably angry at Slavia Prague for knocking out your favorite team, the Glasgow Rangers, in the last round. But give me your thoughts on this game.
I immediately went out and bought a Slavia Prague shirt in their honor. But look, I'll be the first to say this. For me, at least, Slavia Prague have been the standout surprise package of this year's competition. I thought Leicester progressing against them in the round of 32, I thought was an absolute slam dunk. I didn't even bother betting it because I thought they're definitely through to the next round. They proved me wrong in that one. Actually, not only progressing, but also completely shutting Leicester out over those two legs as well. And in that last round again, I remember saying on this show how I thought Rangers were the better team overall. I expected them to qualify. I thought Slavia Prague knocking out Leicester was a bit of a flash in the pan. And again, they just keep proving me wrong. They dominated them, especially in that second leg with a 3-1 aggregate win. So, this is definitely a team, notorious letdown merchants Arsenal do not want to overlook tonight. So the Czech Republic, the other thing that I like about Slavia Prague in this one, the Czech Republic League is basically over. Slavia Prague have a 14-point cushion at the top, albeit they've played a couple of extra games. But even so, they have had that opportunity to completely focus and prepare for this, quarter-final clash against Arsenal. They just come off a 1-1 draw against 16th place Zbrojska Brno. I'm sorry for any Czech Republic people watching this.
Say that three times.
Completely butchered that.
You say that 3 times in a row.
And because they basically fielded a backup squad in that game, they didn't need a result there. So fatigue or preparation definitely shouldn't be a factor for them here. They do have a number of injuries, however, and Arsenal historically have formed against Prague here previously, inflicting their heaviest ever win against the European team at home. They did a 7-0 demolition job against Slavia Prague back in 2007, which, no surprise, is also Prague's largest ever European defeat on the road. But look, in current form, Slavia Prague look absolutely great value, catching a full goal head start here tonight at the Emirates. Prague have conceded just once across the last 4 Europa League knockout matches, which we discussed. As you said at the start, Carmine, they're unbeaten across the last 21 competitive matches and all as well. They're unbeaten in their last 10 away games also. They've won 7 outright. So I have to look towards the visitors tonight, catching that full goal head start. And also, if you're looking for a correct score, 1-1. That also appeals to me here, plus 700. Nice price on that. So, yeah, Slavia Prague plus 1-1 correct score. I like both of those.
Yeah, and then I'm going to throw it to Pavlos next on this one. When I was looking at correct scores for this one, two of the score lines I looked involved goals in this game, and that was the Arsenal 2-1, Arsenal 3-1, Arsenal 2-1 plus 750, Arsenal 3-1 plus 1,200. And I'm not going to say, listen, we always hope when, we love football, we watch this sport, we always hope that everything is on the up and up when these games are played. And I never think any game is ever rigged, but I have to think just from an aspect of what Slavia Prague, what went on with the Rangers, and a lot of that, the racist stuff that went on between the players, and we don't want to really get into that. You always wonder whether we're going to see a penalty, some early yellow cards. If you just see something a little slanted sometimes. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Let's get that out of the way. but it always creeps in the back of your mind whenever we watch this sport. When you see anything that happens, the first thing you ever read in social media is, it was rigged or whatever. Pavlos, give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, Arsenal, they have a great history against Czech sides. They have 7 wins and 1 draw. They've never lost. As Kevin mentioned, Arsenal have a massive win, which is the highest home win, so which is also Slavia Prague's biggest loss. So there might be some bad blood there. Slavia Prague, they have numerous absences, especially in the defense. 2 of their starting center backs are out, so they're gonna use a holding midfielder as a center back, Liverpool style. So I'm not so sure if it's gonna work. I think that Arsenal, as you guys mentioned, it's their last chance for some silverware. They're not gonna play in Europe unless they win the Europa League. I think the train is shipped. It's gone. They can't catch the Europa train from the Premier League this season. They've been a bit terrible lately. They're coming off a bad loss to Liverpool, then 3-3 draw to West Ham, then a loss to Olympiacos in the second leg of the previous round. Which was actually the first loss after 9 matches in the Europa League. So I think that Arsenal should have the win or die mentality here. Otherwise, it's going to be a highly unsuccessful season with whatever comes next. And Slavia Prague, I think they've exceeded expectations. They're a really good and very dangerous side. They have very talented players up front. I think that they could easily hurt Arsenal's struggling defense here. So yeah, I think I'll agree with Kevin here on Slavia Prague with plus 1 goal. I like that.
All right, I'm feeling good about this, guys, because every show, before I throw it to Nick, every show there is one game where you guys are on the opposite of what I like. So please, Nick, for the love of God, tell me you are on Slava Prague here. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Sorry to ruin it for you, Carm. I am not. I tried to get there. I'll say this. I'm not on either side. I tried to get myself on board with Arsenal. I really did, but I just can't. They could win this game and should win this game, but I just don't trust their defense. They conceded at least 1 goal in 13 straight games, and in the Europa League, they've kept just 2 clean sheets in 10 matches thus far, and they've conceded in all 4 knockout games. Slavia Prague, you guys already talked about it. They're no joke. They took down a very good Rangers side. Sorry to say that out loud, Kev. And of course, they beat Leicester, as you guys mentioned before that. However, Prague, they're missing a couple important defenders for this game. They got their center back Kudela is out with a nose injury. I'm air quoting that as, I guess apparently he's being investigated by UEFA for some racism in the last game against Rangers. So who knows? But they're also without another defensive player, Simon Deli, who came over from Club Brugge actually in the January transfer window and has been a big part of that team. So that concerns me a little bit on the back end for them. I'm actually more worried about Arsenal not scoring in this game based on some of their form they've been in. But you guys hit it with Saka coming back. He really helps change that lineup up front and is very creative in getting them chances. So the simple way for me to play this one, I think, is both teams to score. You can actually get plus money on it. I saw plus 110 last night, but I'm not in that kind of a mood today. I'm in a go big or go home kind of mood. So both teams to score plus over 2.5 goals is paying plus 190 right now. I think that's an awesome price here, and I really like the chance that comes home.
Actually, I do like that one, Nick, because the 2 score lines I said I liked in this game were 2-1 and 3-1. The 3-1 is probably one of my favorite props on this game here. So over 2.5 goals, both teams to score is a good one, especially since you're getting plus money on that one. All right, final game. Last but not least, Ajax Roma. Ajax are minus 106 at home. Plus 280 on the draw. Roma plus 260. The total is 2.75, which is a split line of 2.5 and 3. Before I go to Pavlos on this one, as far as Champions League goes for next season, Ajax will likely be there. They're on their way to winning another title, so they're looking good there. As far as Arsenal go, as far as Roma go, not Arsenal go. As far as Roma go on this one, they've been going well in Serie A, and they just hit a stumbling block, a bit of a slump their last 3 games, 2 losses and a draw. dropping 8 of a possible 9 points has taken them out of that top 4 running. They put them about 7 points back. So I think winning this competition is their only way to get into Champions League. I talked about it. Ajax gets through this round with Roma. It could set up a rematch of that 2016-2017 final where they lost 2-0 to Man United. Give me your thoughts on this one, Pavlos. I'm pretty sure Ajax, I think they're 7 or 8 points up in the Eredivisie. Pretty sure they've got that one locked up over PSV. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Ajax, they've been quite mediocre against Italian sides. They have 13 wins, 17 losses, and 17 draws against Italian sides, regardless of venue. And they have 4 wins, 6 losses, and 9 draws as host. While Roma have 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses against Dutch sides, and 1 win and 2 losses and no draws in the Netherlands. However, Ajax, they are very strong in this competition. They're always strong. They are undefeated in the last 24 matches in all competitions. They have qualified in 6 of the 7 times they met Italian sides in knockout ties. And their loss to Atalanta earlier in the season put an end to Ajax's 8-match unbeaten run against Italian sides. Well, they had 2 wins and 6 draws, but it was still an undefeated streak. So Ajax, they come into this match with a few crucial absences. Dale Blind and Mazraoui, 2 defenders are out. Onana, their starting goalkeeper, is still out with that doping scandal or whatever. Sebastien Haller, who came from West Ham, is a top quality forward, but he's not listed in the team. He's not registered to play in the Europa League due to some mix-up or whatever. So that's quite a few problems for Ajax, who also have their backup goalkeepers, the Kellenburg, as questionable. So worst case scenario, they'll have to use a 21-year-old inexperienced goalkeeper at the post. And Roma are no better right now. They have some internal turmoil. There was a meeting between the players and the coach before Sunday's training session, and things got heated up. And the coach is on with 1 foot out for Roma. Crystal Palace and Real Madrid want him, and I think he's not gonna finish the season in Roma anyway. So there's just a bit of bad blood in Roma's camp right now, and Ajax could definitely take advantage of it. They're great at home. They have so much experience in the Europa League. So I think this is on Ajax's turf. So they should have the first say in winning here. So I think I'll go with Ajax to win here.
All right, Nick. Yeah, he makes some good points, and you look at as far as Roma goes. We talked about it on a show in the first couple of months of the Italian Serie A, where Fonseca from the manager for Roma seemed to have lost his players. They've had a good season, but I think it's creeping back in, and losses will do that to you when you fall off the pace. And the players look, and they're 7 points back with a couple teams in front of them in Napoli and Lazio. So they're not getting. I don't think they're getting into Champions League this year. There have to be a total collapse from some of the teams in front of them, and that's unlikely to happen. Give me your thoughts on this game, and is this a straightforward slam dunk, or do we have an actual game here?
Yeah, I think this could be a game. I really do like Ajax, so they're one of my favorite teams to watch. They're like Atalanta in Italy. They're up and down the field. They're pressing for goals. They take care of business more often than not. They made easy work of young boys in the last round before they knocked off a very good Lille team, winning each game against Lille by the same 2-1 scoreline. I mention that because Roma is offensively better than Lille, but not nearly as good defensively. And I see Ajax still being able to play their game here without too much trouble, while at the same time, Roma should be able to get on the board themselves. Roma has been held scoreless in a couple Serie A games this year, but in Europa play, they've been only held scoreless once in 10 games, including scoring 5 goals over the 2 legs in each of the last 2 rounds against Shakhtar and against Braga. Ajax, they were in the Champions League pool. They were unfortunate to be drawn in the same pot as Liverpool and Atalanta. But since that final match day loss to Atalanta, they haven't lost a game with 21 wins and 3 draws over the last 24 since then. smart way to play this, I agree with Pavlos, is just take Ajax to win. I think at home they should come away on this first leg. But clearly, I am not in that kind of a mood today. So I like Ajax. I like Roma to score. So if you combine Ajax plus both teams to score, you're getting plus 250. I think a 2-1 score, maybe even a 3-1 score is very, very likely here. And I think 250 is a steal of a price. So that's the way I'm going here.
All right. Yeah, and to qualify into the semifinals, Ajax is minus 175, and I got to believe that they get it done over the two legs against a Roma side who, unless they can turn around what's been happening to them the last couple of weeks, are likely in for a tough time here against an Ajax team that's playing very well and are very short as far as the markets are concerned. Guys, let's go to Kev for the final word on this one. He loves to have the final word when Nick is just in front of him. And guys, hit that like button there. Every time you hit that like button, it adds another year to Kevin's life. So let's keep this guy alive. Kev, give me your thoughts.
I'll keep this one brief for you, Carm, because I realize we're running out of time here. But, for me, it's Ajax and over. The over's been pounded so far. I picked up 2.5 at minus 140. It's up to about minus 170 now with the full line at 3. And look, Nick mentioned this scoreline 2-1. I really like that score. That's plus 750. So yeah, Ajax over, correct score 2-1.
All right, there you have it, guys. 4 Europa League games, all kicking off at 3 p.m. Eastern time today. We'll be back on Tuesday with all 4 Champions League League 2 matches for next week that are played over Tuesday and Wednesday. Remember, the 30-day soccer all-access package is up at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Use the promo code or coupon code SOC70 and you get $70 off that $199 30-day all-access package. You'll get every single play from your favorite capper, including 5% plays. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Best of luck with your wagers today, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Sign up for the free WagerTalk text club to gain access to free plays and exclusive discounts. Just text WagerTalk to 33222 to sign up and get a $10 coupon to use on WagerTalk.com.